I'm having a little bit of difficulty understanding why you think your life is in danger from police and goons. And part of that is understanding how somebody who's a human rights activist comes to decide that at some point they are facing a situation that is so different and so serious that they have to flee.
Mais en quoi vos cris étaient-ils différents de...
How are your cries different from those of the other protesters?
My personal way of protesting was to infiltrate the crowd and to call out loudly the truth.
I said something against the authorities, against the politics. Of course, it is very dangerous. You can't understand this because you don't live in fear. When we live in our country, we are always in fear. First, 70 years we were in fear because of KGB and Stalin. Then nowadays we are afraid of Kazakh authorities.
These weary travelers are walking across the Canada-US border not far from Montreal. After days, sometimes weeks of travel, they have come to ask Canadian immigration officials for political asylum. They will claim that their lives are in danger. They come via the United States because it's easier to get a travel visa to the US than to Canada. Once they set foot on Canadian soil, Canada is bound by the 1951 Geneva Convention to offer them temporary asylum. These people could claim asylum in the US, but they come to Canada because of our reputation worldwide as a generous, refugee-receiving nation. On average, about 10 to 15 people cross this border point every day. They tell me their hopes and fears. They are nervous about whether the Canadian government will let them stay. Most are afraid of the camera and avoid contact. This film is about 3 refugee claimants who allowed us into their lives.
My name is Marnush Choudhury. I am from Bangladesh. I am working with Bangladesh Human Rights Commission. It is human rights organizations, completely human rights organizations. Since 1987, I am working with these organizations. That means when I finished my honors degree. And from that time, I did a lot of fact-finding about human rights violations in my country.
We were born in Kazakhstan and we lived in 4 generations in Kazakhstan. But now we must go anywhere because the Kazakh people want to have the Muslim state. And they say, go away, Russians go away. It is not your land, it is not your language, go away. If you don't want to know our language, go away.
The purpose of your trip in Canada?
Just asylum.
Asylum?
Yeah.
You want to ask for asylum?
Yes, only asylum.
We want to live here because it's very difficult to live in our country. And as Russians, we have nowhere to go.
Okay, so you're seeking refugee status?
Yeah.
I am in danger in my country.
Okay.
So.
How much money do you have now?
Well, I think.
On you?
Can I see? Just a moment. I don't know how much.
It's your first time in Canada?
First time in Canada.
You have no criminal record of any type? No? Are you in
Every
good health?
year,
Do you take
about
any medicine?
25,000 refugee claimants make their way to Canada. They each come with a story of fear and persecution. they will all have the opportunity to convince refugee judges that the danger they describe is real. About 50% will succeed and be allowed to stay in Canada as landed immigrants. The rest face deportation. In the meantime, they remain in Canada and wait for the hearing that will determine their fate. Marnoush Chowdhury is met in Montreal by his brother Shajnoush, who is also a human rights activist in Bangladesh.
How long is it since you haven't seen your brother?
1 year.
1 year.
Yes.
How do you feel seeing him now?
Shajnoush কিরকম মনে করছিস?
Very good. And you?
Yes, I am also, because you see, I told you in the border, he's my twin brother, and not only twin brother, he's my friend, you see? Very bosom friend. So when I meet with him, really fantastic.
My brother came with safe and sound, and now my brother have no problem, but I'm very much worried about my family and our family. So we need to bring our family immediately because they're suffering.
1, 2, 3.
Not all refugee claimants enter Canada by arriving at a border station. Some find innovative ways to get here.
Je viens de la Roumanie.
Oui. Et ça fait longtemps que...
Non,
vous
ça
êtes
fait
ici?
3 semaines.
3 semaines.
Oui.
Et comment est-ce que tu es venu? Par quelle manière?
Oh, c'est une histoire très dure. Je viens dans un container.
Tu es venu dans un container?
Oui, c'est ça. Je restais 2 semaines dans ce container.
Christian Gitescu and 2 friends broke into a container in northern France which was destined for Canada. During the 2-week transatlantic voyage, their sole nourishment was a few rolls of salami and several large jugs of water. If they had been caught by the ship's captain, they risked being thrown overboard. That's because Canada levies a fine of up to $7,000 per stowaway on ships found with illegal passengers. Despite these risks, Christian and his friends arrived unharmed.
Et pourquoi le Canada? Pourquoi venir ici au Canada? Pourquoi pas rester en France ou des États-Unis ou...
Non, parce que pour moi, Canada, c'est le meilleur pays du monde.
Pourquoi?
Pourquoi? C'est un pays où se trouvent beaucoup de nationalités. Où tu peux vivre sans panique. Tu peux rester tranquille toujours. Il n'y a pas d'agression. C'est un pays très, très démocratique.
Tatiana Linko, her son Artem, and her nephew come to register at a Quebec immigration office. Refugee claimants can wait up to 2 years or more for their status to be determined. During this time, they can apply for a number of social benefits. Tatiana learns that because she has arrived with little money, she will receive welfare benefits until she finds a full-time job. She is also eligible for Medicare and legal aid.
Very clean. Very clean. It's bright. Посмотри, какой холодильник большой. Морозилка.
And here you have the indoor swimming pool and exercise room. This is your copy of your lease.
It is very beautiful flats. We are not accustomed to such. Everything is made very nice, very clean, very beautiful, and very strict, as I may say. We saw now they can come and take one bed, garbage. For us it is not garbage.
Cristian Gitescu has arrived with only a few dollars in his pocket. While he waits for his landing papers and welfare application to be processed, he's put up at Projet Refuge, a community center. Here, he spends some of his time preparing meals for staff and fellow refugees.
T'as de chance, ça t'a donné un moment.
Ah, c'est chaud.
Deci, refugiat este o persoană care se află în exteriorul Canadei.
Cristian hires a lawyer who specializes in refugee law to help prepare his refugee claim.
În exteriorul țării lui,
His fees are covered by legal aid.
României, care ești persecutat, ți-e frică să te întorci în România. Și frica asta este o frică rezonabilă, înțelegi? Nu este o frică imaginară. Dar aș vrea să știi mai multe despre participarea ta. Spune-mi exact când a început, cum ai participat la Revoluție.
Aflu că este un meeting organizat de Nicolae Ceaușescu pentru a arăta întregii lumi, ațățăm lumea, aruncăm câteva petarde, la un moment dat se oprește discursul, am strigat că din spate se trage, să ne împinge, lumea nu știe ce se întâmplă.
Adică voi ați strigat tare că ce?
Am strigat jos comunismul, jos Ceaușescu.
Și după aia țipa că se trage?
Da, și am strigat, fugiți, încep să tragă.
Voulez-vous vous rapprocher? Tous les confis, les étudiants, s'il vous plaît.
It's Saint Jean-Baptiste Day, Quebec's national holiday. Only days after his arrival, Marnouche joins his brother and 3,000 other refugees and immigrants who have gathered on top of Mount Royal. They've come with their French language classes to take part in the festivities.
My feelings is for children and especially for women. They're very helpless. I have been working for those people. I have been trying to change our society, but I have been seeing a lot of women, lot of children is suffering by the laws or by the other peoples. That means from their husband, from their father, and sometimes from our police persons.
That should be declared. I mean, everything must be declared about you. The most important part of this personal information form is question number 37.
Marnouche, too, gets legal advice on the declaration he will submit to the Refugee Board.
Narrate all the significant incidents, your involvement, your political philosophy, or your activities, whatever is there, and why you have been persecuted, why, and what did you do to protect yourself legally.
Police raped one child, and his name is Shahida, and his age was 9 only.
Shahida?
Yeah, Shahida.
Maybe this is that video, yes.
Okay, how did you get this news that she was raped by police? Who told you that?
Because I first saw from newspaper. That time we went there and we took more information. Some police, you see, they're very harassing to me from that time. One day they just snatched out from the road in front of my office, and they just took me in their hand, and they took me their police custody, and just one night I was there, and they tortured me from the various ways. Like you see, sometimes they tortured by their stick, and sometimes they are tortured by their very, very hot water, and sometimes they tortured different kind of ways, you see. And my life was very danger in that moment.
In which year?
93. From 93, I was very danger.
It's impossible to bring everything we need, of course. We have everything at home, but...
Did you plan to leave for a long time, or you just left very suddenly?
Forever.
Forever.
Forever. And we must begin with something, you see. It's impossible to live without anything. And this one is 89.
89, yeah. They're all 89 those.
No discount. Maybe some.
I'll make it 75 for you.
75.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Не, наоборот, вот за эту тебе уже вот так вот делай. Надо антенну чем-то вытащить.
Families are moving to this new suburb and they're having kids.
I was once told that I came here and I became somebody's neighbor.
The boys said that nobody can believe at home. If we today call them and say this, nobody can believe.
Does it feel very strange to be here?
He says that he feels that he is a person himself.
What does that mean?
Because he was always a boy, and now he is a man. He feels that the future in his hands. I am afraid that if I say that it is so good, everybody wants to come there, you see? Maybe for Canadian it is not good that we ask so many to come there. I don't know.
Christian gets to work on the declaration he must submit to the Refugee Board. He visits their documentation center, which stores information on human rights conditions worldwide. He locates several files on demonstrations in which he participated in Romania. Back in his room, he records the events which he hopes will convince the refugee judges that he had no choice but to leave Romania.
Este o lege dată în care spune că dacă aduci jignirea guvernului sau unei instituții din România, ești posibil de închisare.
During his first few weeks in Canada, Marnush spends much of his time alone. Marnush has moved in with his brother Shajnush and prepares the daily meals for the two of them.
Anything you need to help? No. Okay. আমার মনে হয় তোমার হেল্পের প্রয়োজন হবে ওই যে ওই সমস্যা
Shajnush, cut your hair. Why did you do that?
No reason behind it. Nothing. Sometimes I want to change. Sometimes I think too much. I catch my head like this. So it's better not to keep my hair finish. Date of marriage?
0206.
Shajnush helps his brother complete his refugee claim. Marnoush must recall the events that made it necessary for him to leave his work and family. For Shajnush, it's been over a year and a half since he's seen his wife and 7-year-old daughter.
Here we are eating, here we are writing, here we are making some friends. But inside there is no peace. This is true.
I think so many refugees, they become half-mad. Really, they become half-mad. I am half-mad, I can tell. Because before and now, when I compare sometimes, when I feel something wrong inside me. So I'm not okay. In fact, I'm not okay.
Shajnush shows me pictures of his wife and daughter.
Daughter, I made it like this.
Although Canada accepted his refugee claim almost a year ago, he is still waiting for the immigration papers which would allow him to bring his family over to join him.
It is a very big choice. We don't know what we want, and we don't know how to choose. It's a paradise with money. We can buy everything. We can drink and eat.
Okay, you got a master degree diploma in which branch?
In onomastic, it is the knowledge in linguistics about the private names. Why you are given such or such name, why the animals are given such or such name. I wrote Kazakh books. I was a popular writer in Kazakh language, you see. I made the first Kazakh books for Russians. The Russians who have their enterprises can't be the chiefs. We must take Kazakh people to be the chief of our enterprises.
For example, this travel company where you were working, was it your company?
Yeah.
It was your own company?
Yeah, my own, because they said if I must not sell, but I must take the other person to be the leader.
And you took?
No, it was impossible because you see many circumstances.
Well, I will read
tell
it
you.
in your story later on.
Several months after his arrival, Christian has heard nothing from the Refugee Board on the status of his case. He is on welfare, but he has not received the permit he needs to be allowed to work.
Les périodes d'attente, c'est presque comme un cauchemar. Parce que normalement, tu es ici, mais toi viens. Tu n'as pas le papier, tu as juste viens. Tu attends chaque jour. Le soir, quand tu te couches, tu penses peut-être demain, je vais voir mon papier, peut-être demain. Et chaque jour, c'est la même chose. Et quand tu vois qu'il n'arrive pas les papiers, tu n'es pas content de tout. Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Pourquoi? Qu'est-ce que j'ai fait de... Non, c'est...
Здравствуйте, Аня. Здравствуйте. Как поживаете? Это чтобы денежки водились.
It's Tatiana's birthday, and her friend Artur, also a recently arrived refugee claimant from Kazakhstan, pays her a visit.
This is the Russian tradition. When the guest comes to the birthday party, he put the money before the door, so I can have money the whole year.
Ехали мы, цыгане, С ярмарки домой, да домой, и остановились под яблоникой густой. И загулял, загулял, загулял парнишка молодой, молодой, в красной рубашоночке, в бордовенький такой. Загулял, загулял, загулял парень молодой, молодой, в красной рубашоночке, в бордовенький такой. Загулял, загулял, загулял парень молодой, молодой, в красной рубашоночке, в бордовенький такой. Загулял, загулял, загулял парень молодой, молодой, в красной рубашоночке, в бордовенький такой.
Спасибо. Молодец. Спасибо. Фух, это было здорово. Жарко.
I feel my wife here every moment because she is my good friend. I wrote her, don't think about me, take care of yourself. I think Canadian government will save my life and don't think about me. Don't think too much about me. The date is coming. The final date is coming.
It's 4 months since Marnouche's arrival. His story appears quite credible to the Refugee Board, so they have offered him what is called a fast-track hearing. He will have 45 minutes to convince a board officer that his life is in danger. About 25% of refugee claimants get this chance to speed up the process.
And yesterday I went to bed at 1:30, but I can't sleep up to 3 o'clock. After 3 I sleep. 6:30 again I come. Really this is a very big day for me. And so I think this government will protect me. Yes. And sometimes I don't think.
Marnouche's brother Shashnouch was successful at his fast-track hearing 1 year ago. If Marnouche's case is accepted today, he will be declared a convention refugee and be allowed to remain in Canada.
Sorry, you have to leave.
My daughter, she wrote a letter in English. Yeah, she wrote me a letter. Sometimes she's crying. Sometimes. Very sad. Yeah, it's very hard. She, if she saw the aeroplane is going, on the sky, she's shouting, "My father is coming! My father is coming!" But I cannot go. I feel very bad, very bad.
It went well, and the questions were absolutely all right, and there was no prejudice, there was no bias, and I think I'm quite satisfied. This has been referred, the claim has been referred for a full hearing.
Really?
Yes, because the member who was in charge of today's hearing thinks that some of the areas of the personal information form or his statement needs more scrutiny.
This decision does not mean that Marnouche's refugee claim has been rejected. What it does mean is that he will now have to wait for a full hearing before 2 refugee judges.
I have to wait up to 13 May in 1996, but it was my great chance to get the acceptance. But what to do? No.
It's the middle of December. Christian has been getting by on his monthly welfare check, but suddenly he's cut off welfare. The lease he has signed for his new apartment appears suspicious to the welfare office. There is a misunderstanding about the amount he is actually paying for rent.
T'as combien d'argent?
2-3 $ maximum.
Comment est-ce que tu manges? Qu'est-ce que tu fais?
Mais depuis les premiers, je mange. Je vais aller dans une amie ou dans une autre amie. Aujourd'hui, je suis invité à la table. C'est le professeur de français qui m'a invité à la table. Je veux seulement une raison. Pourquoi? Qu'est-ce que je dois faire? C'est quoi mon obligation? Et pourquoi aussi il m'a coupé les... Il m'a arrêté de donner. C'est pas coupé. Je ne sais pas encore si c'est coupé ou non.
Bonjour, Monique Quentin, travailleuse sociale du service d'aide aux réfugiés et aux immigrants.
Christian asks a social worker at a refugee aid service to intervene on his behalf.
Et où il y a eu un problème de bail, un problème de rédaction du bail. J'ai son numéro de dossier au monsieur. Oui, mais en même temps, en attendant, il n'y a pas un sou pour manger, lui. Ah oui, je comprends. Parce qu'actuellement, il n'est pas possible qu'on obtienne que les fonds soient débloqués. Et la seule chose qu'on peut faire dans ce temps-là, c'est comme je vous disais tantôt, on peut chercher des endroits où vous allez avoir des bonnes nourritures, où vous n'allez pas être sans manger pendant ce temps-là, si vous voulez, là. Mais débloquer le chèque d'aide sociale, non. Ils vont faire leur vérification avec.
Ça fait beaucoup de temps que je ne travaille pas et je ne peux pas rester comme ça. Je m'énerve parce que j'ai pas quelque chose de régulier à faire. Maintenant, je fais beaucoup d'heures comme ça dans la rue, dans la maison. Je ne fais rien. Je n'accepte pas ça. Pour moi, si je reste comme ça beaucoup de temps, peut-être j'allais dans un hôpital. Mais je ne peux pas.
If Canada takes us, of course, we make everything to live here and to do profit here. Because we know such things that your people don't know. We are more shrewder than you and clever in many things you can't even imagine. What can one do, you see?
Like what?
I can't say. It's a secret. It's our Russian secret. But we see, we go there and see. My son always say, "Mama, oh, they are so naive." Yeah. And maybe we do not bad. And maybe our sons and daughters will be, of course, much more experienced than we.
Și pururea și în vecii vecilor. Amin. Și toate cele din lăuntrul meu ești și iară cu pace Domnului să ne rugăm. Doamne, miluiește! Apără, mântuiește, miluiește și ne păzește pre noi, Dumnezeule, cu harul Tău. Doamne, miluiește!
Avem deja piesele care au fost depuse de agentul de audiție.
It's now only days before Christian's hearing at the Refugee Board. His lawyer gives him some last-minute advice.
Ai emoții?
Da,
E normal să ai emoții, dar nu uita că, în general, există o emoție. Există o emoție. E normal, oricine ar avea. Deci, nu încerca să-ți refulezi emoția pe care o ai. Tu ai emoția, lasă-o să se manifeste, că n-ai ce face, fiindcă asta există și nu te împiedică.
Maintenant, je pense que mon cœur bat 2 fois plus qu'un homme.
Aie confiance en toi parce que tu as toutes les raisons. Tu es un bon cas et tu vas leur expliquer. On va pas le manquer.
Bon, j'espère que ça va être comme ça. En tout cas, ça, d'après moi, ça va être un...
Ma collègue Raymonde Folco et moi-même, Francine Latraverse.
My colleague Raymond Falco and I, Francine Latraverse, will hear the evidence in the refugee claim of Mr. Christian Gitescu.
069-70. Jurez-vous que le témoignage
Do you swear that the testimony that you will give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Say, I swear.
Yes, I swear.
Please be seated.
Monsieur, vous écrivez là, vous décrivez les manifestations auxquelles...
Sir, you have described the demonstrations in which you participated.
Et pourquoi en septembre 92, là, avez-vous
Why in September of 92 did you leave Romania for Germany?
Sunt împotriva tuturor celor care au avut...
I am opposed to all those who held office under Ceausescu.
Tuturor celor care au fost în Partidul Comunist.
Opposed to all those who belong to the Communist Party and who at the present time still hold public office. I was really disgusted with everything that had happened, both before and after the demonstrations. I felt deeply ashamed because the true ideals of the revolution had not been attained. These were the reasons why I decided to leave.
Si je comprends bien votre réponse, à ce moment-là, vous ne...
If I understand your answer, you were not afraid of being persecuted. You left because of disgust with the regime, if I understand you correctly.
No, there was also the danger of being persecuted, a danger that was always there.
Bon, je vais revenir à la manifestation de juin.
Okay, I want to get back to the demonstration of June 1994.
Vous avez crié des slogans, là.
You called out slogans.
Vous avez pris la parole devant les...
Did you get up and make a speech to the protesters, or did you call out from within the crowd?
I called out from within the demonstration.
But apart from calling out slogans against the government, did you do anything else during this demonstration?
There are many different ways to protest. It's more than just being there at the demonstration.
Quelle est la façon dont vous avez manifesté?
And what is your way of protesting?
My personal way of protesting was to infiltrate the crowd and to call out loudly the truth.
Si vous deviez retourner,
If you had to return, what are you afraid might happen to you?
There is an arrest warrant out against me.
et quelles conséquences ceci aurait pour vous, monsieur?
And what consequences would this have for you, sir?
I could be imprisoned for up to 5 years.
Et ce mandat d'arrêt est pour quel motif?
And this arrest warrant is for what motive?
Pentru motivul că am jenit în public.
For having openly insulted public officials.
Monsieur, vous auriez un dernier commentaire à ajouter?
Sir, are there any final comments you would like to make?
Țin să mulțumesc Comisiei pentru...
I would like to thank the Commission
pentru răbdarea cu care a avut...
for the patience with which
să-mi asculte dosarul.
you listened to my case.
Și sper că...
I hope
veți putea elabora...
that you will be able to work out
liniștiți.
in peace
Cazul meu, îmi pare rău că...
my unique case.
N-am putut să vă ajut mai mult la...
I regret very much that I wasn't able to be more clear about certain events. That's all.
I'm a presser in the peer list, and I'm pressing the court for men, and every day I'm going early in the morning. That means before 7 o'clock, and I start from 7 to 4 o'clock. I do pressing in the factory.
Is it a good job?
Good. What do you mean by good job?
What do you mean by good job?
No, this is not good job for me, because I did in my country a different kind of job, and 8 years, you see. I was related with Bangladesh Human Rights Commission, and I did lot of things about our people. And I did report writing, I did fact finding, I did training, I organized training, seminar, symposium. That was really very better for myself. And here I'm pressing. So comparatively, this is not better. And I'm not, my feeling is very bad, you see. I can't relate with my previous job. So, this is not better, but what to do?
Je peux travailler ouvrage général, beaucoup d'autres choses, oui.
While waiting for her hearing, Tatiana supplements her welfare check with part-time jobs. She uses her facility with languages to provide services to other refugees and immigrants.
Today, I want to begin with the future time. And it is very, very easy to understand and to memorize. Very easy. Because you see, we have two special words for future time. I shall go. She will go. He will go. They will go. You will go. Very cheap. Do you want as a gift for Christmas?
Nah.
No, look, it's so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. You don't like it. Well, and you, girl, you see, so beautiful.
Just $15. It's a nice gift for Christmas. You want 2, 3, 4, 5?
Excuse us for interruption. Have you done all the Christmas gifts?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and we want to show you very beautiful, very cute for all your people. You see, ma'am?
No, thank you very much.
Why?
I can exist here. It is like my home. I don't feel as a guest. I feel like home. I am not going to leave Canada, you see. I persist. Yeah. I think that everything will be nice because I am a good optimist, and if I want something, I do. I always do what I want. And besides, I have the fate and destiny, and I always, you see, looks at my palm, and I look at my palm and I see my way.
And what do you see when you look at your palm?
Well, I have very nice dependence of fate, and if they want me to do this, I do. Somebody, I don't know, maybe God or maybe another cosmic civilization, I don't know. Because you see, I have an angel, and they care about me.
I shall go back to my country.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why?
Canada is very beautiful, you see. Very good country. Everything is very good, like transport, place, and everywhere is good, but not like my country, you see, because I like my country. I'm very familiar with my environment, with my country, so never, I don't think.
So you see Canada as a temporary home until things get better in your country?
Yeah. Temporary. Yeah. For the time being.
Yeah.
Christian has been waiting over 4 months for the refugee board to make a decision on his case. In the meantime, he has finally received his work permit and finds a job as a maintenance technician at a local marina. Trained as a mechanic in Romania, he feels right at home in his new job.
Okay.
C'est bon le bouchon?
Oui, c'est bon le bouchon.
Ok.
Le check-moi.
Ok. Check donc ça, là, ton bras, là.
Tout le monde qui travaille ici est gentil et content de moi. Je suis très, très content. J'ai commencé à travailler, j'ai commencé à bouger, je me sentais comme il faut. Ça veut dire que je veux m'intégrer dans la société pas pour passer quelqu'un d'étranger, c'est quelqu'un qui est habitué ici, qui connaît ici, qui connaît les histoires un petit peu, qui connaît les sociétés, qui connaît comment ça marche les choses, comment ça se passe tout ça.
Ça, c'est la décision. Donc, dans la décision, c'est dit qu'il fait une formation du panel qui était composé la date d'audition, que la revendication est intéressante le jour de juillet et que vous n'êtes pas une réfugiée selon la convention. Il s'agit des conventions de la Genève. Că n-ai fost credibil. Deci nu se leagă de situația din România. Noi NAC zice că n-ai fost credibil.
Deci, în concluzie,
lipsă de credibilitate.
Acum, ceea ce se poate face, o cerere de control judiciar al hotărârii. Adică asta e posibilitatea și o putem face în 15 zile de când s-a primit hotărârea respectivă. Deci vrei să facem o cerere de control?
Da.
Facem o cerere de control a hotărârii respective. Ok?
To do cards can't everybody, because it is some gift. But you see, if we know, for example, that something unextraordinary is waiting for us in the close future, it is very nice that we must be careful all the time. You are with your mother. You also, as me, depend upon fate. and you have a good intellect, very good. We have no status here just now. How can I speak about future if, for example, I am not accepted yet? Maybe I will not be accepted, yeah? Maybe they say, go home, Yankee, go home. And where we must go, I don't know. Of course, we try to live here, but it doesn't depend upon us.
এইভাবেই আপনার বিভিন্ন বিষয়ের উপর আমরা আলোকপাত করব। যেমন শেষ প্রশ্নটা হবে যে বাংলাদেশে ফিরে গেলে আজকে আপনার কি অসুবিধা? বুঝতে পেরেছেন?
It's been almost a year since Marnouch's arrival in Canada, and now only days before his hearing.
আপনার আবেগ হয়তো আপনাকে আপ্লুত করতে পারে, কিন্তু মাথা ঠান্ডা রেখে আপনার বক্তব্যগুলি বলে যাবেন, যাতে সমস্ত, কারণ অনেক সময় কি যে সত্য ঘটনা বলার সময় তাড়াহুড়ো করার ফলে হয়তো উল্টোপাল্টা হয়ে যেতে পারে। কিন্তু সে উল্টোপাল্টা হলে আপনার সম্পর্কে যদি বিন্দুমাত্র সন্দেহ সৃষ্টি হয়, অথবা যদি কোনো ব্যাপারে বোর্ড নিজে পরিষ্কার না থাকেন, তাহলে সিদ্ধান্ত অন্যরকম হতে পারে।
Please sit down, everyone. Good morning. My name is Audrey Macklin. My colleague is Carl Whitaker. We share equal responsibility for determining your claim.
আপনার দাবিটি সিদ্ধান্ত নেওয়ার ব্যাপারে আমাদের দুজনের সমান অধিকার রয়েছে।
Also present in the hearing room today is your counsel, Mr. Rezaur Rahman.
আপনার এখানে উপস্থিত আছেন আপনার পরামর্শদাতা রেজাউর রহমান।
And our refugee claims officer, Maître Doris Sickerman. Please stand up then. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly affirm that the evidence you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
আপনি কি প্রতিজ্ঞা করছেন যে আপনি যা বলবেন সত্যি বলবেন, সত্যি ছাড়া আর কিছু বলবেন না? বলেন হ্যাঁ।
হ্যাঁ।
Yes, I do.
Please sit down. Thank you.
Motion.
Mr. Chowdhury, my colleague will now have some questions for you.
Mr. Chowdhury, you said in your written testimony the police, and I quote your words, became very angry and started beating and searching. How were you beaten?
তারা আমাকে পুলিশ স্টেশনে যখন আমার তথ্য চাইলো, আমি যখন
I was in the police station.
জানাইছিলাম, তখন
When I refused to give them some information, the policeman punched me.
এই হিপের কাছে একটা
I fell to the ground, and another police officer kicked me in the hip bone.
নিয়ে নেয় এবং তথ্যগুলো নিয়ে নেয়।
You were beaten again on December of 1994. What injuries did you sustain then?
That time I was punched in the nose and it started to bleed. Since then I still bleed easily from my nose.
Have you ever got a medical report saying that you were injured and you were treated?
No, most of the doctors in Bangladesh are scared to do that.
We have seen medical certificates produced by other Bangladeshi claimants from doctors attesting to the injuries that they have sustained during beatings, demonstrations, whatever. The doctor may not want to say that you've been beaten or tortured by the police. If you went to a doctor with injuries and you asked for a medical certificate attesting to these injuries, wouldn't the doctor produce a certificate for you?
Yes, they would do that.
That they would do.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Zipman.
There are numerous publications that are published by your commission. Did any of them ever mention what happened to you?
No, they did not. These publications are read throughout the country. If my name is mentioned, I could face danger when I do my investigations.
Okay, do you know if these incidents would have been reported to other human rights organizations, let's say international ones?
No, Amnesty International hasn't published anything. They say that without specific proof or documents, they cannot publish any reports.
On the night when your house was in Dhaka was attacked, you said you went to your friend's house and you stayed there about 5-6 days. You felt safe at your friend's house?
Yes, I was feeling safe.
And you went to your girlfriend's house from your friend's house?
Yes.
Don't you think you were exposing yourself by all that traveling around if you were in fact hiding from the goons who wanted to kill you, as you say?
No, actually not. Because I took the midnight bus and I was being careful. I wore a cap.
Is a cap adequate disguise?
That's what I thought. That I wouldn't look like Marnush Chaudhry traveling.
You stated that you learned about the troubles going on in Naniarchar in the newspaper. Do you remember when that was?
It was probably on the 18th or the 19th of November.
And the incident happened on November 17th, 93. Do you know where you were at that time?
I cannot remember right now.
Do you think you were in Bangladesh at the time?
Yes.
But if the incident happened on the 17th of November, it looks like you were still in England.
I'm very sorry. At the beginning, I told you that I really don't remember. I've traveled to so many training sessions in my life that it's impossible to remember all the dates.
I would think that if you step off the plane from London on the 18th of November and then read about this incident a day or, and leave within a couple of days, I would have thought that might stick in your mind.
I'll say it again. I really could not remember where I was. This I said. What I can recall now is that I saw this news in the paper after I returned from London. I was so deeply involved in my work that even though I was tired and I had just come back, I did go do extensive fact-finding.
Perhaps you can elaborate a little bit on, you've mentioned that the harassment that you've experienced over the years. Has anybody at the Bangladesh Human Rights Commission ever been detained by the police for any length of time?
Detained, please.
Jailed.
কাউকে এরকম জেলখানায় রেখেছিল কিনা কোনো মানবাধিকার? No.
Has anybody from the Bangladesh Human Rights Commission ever been killed because of their work for the Bangladesh Human Rights Commission?
No.
Given that background, I'm having a little bit of difficulty understanding why you think your life is in danger from police and goons under these circumstances.
At the beginning, I was not so worried or scared, but as the years went by, I was harassed. I was threatened. I received phone calls. I had become a target. I was extremely scared for my life. I don't know how much longer I could have continued my human rights work.
Question was raised about lack of information regarding the claimant or his brother who were persecuted in Bangladesh. Their names never appeared in any international reports. But that doesn't mean that they cannot be persecuted. Anybody who speaks against police, they'll invite trouble. And that has happened here, where a human rights activist like Mr. Chaudhry goes to public, demands justice. Do you think it is plausible that the police will say, thank you very much, you carry on your job, we are not going to tell you anything? No, the police will certainly try to stop him. And that is the case which is happening here. In this situation, in this country like Bangladesh, any human rights activist like him will run into a great risk. And that's why I'll appeal to you, the honorable members of this board, to accept Mr. Marnush Chaudhry as a convention refugee and save his life. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
este de fapt un nou dosar care trebuie să-l faci.
Christian has moved in with Gina, a Romanian woman he has known since he first came to Canada.
Facem 15 zile, nu știu exact, eu să mă interesez mâine.
Te interesezi? Pe 2 zile.
Christian has just received word that his request for an appeal of the Refugee Board's decision has been refused. He can make one final appeal. He must try to convince immigration officials that there is a new danger to his life if he is deported to Romania. He is running out of options. I asked him if he still hoped to find a way to stay in Canada.
Ben oui, c'est ça l'espoir, toujours, c'est d'avoir, d'espérer quelque chose. Même si maintenant, mon moral, c'est pas tellement haut, mais j'espère toujours.
Qu'est-ce que tu espères?
De trouver une façon de rester au Canada.
Today, after 4.5 months of waiting, Marnouche finally learns from his lawyer that he has won his case. He has been declared a convention refugee.
Now I'm thinking I'm in the part of this country. You see? But before 2 hours, always I was thinking I'm nothing. I'm nothing in this country. You see? Now I'm in the part of this country. I'm going to be a citizen, or now I am conventional refugee. So this government considered about my case, about my life, about my family. So only 2 hours, it changed, you see? So I'm very happy.
Marnouche slips away from his victory party to call his wife in Bangladesh.
তুমি যখন আসবে কখনো তখন তুমি অবশ্যই বুঝবে যে এটা কি ধরনের। কিন্তু ইংলিশ শিখতে হবে, যে ওদের সাথে কথা বলতে লাগলে তাহলে আমার মাঝখান থেকে আমাকে বলতে হবে। হ্যাঁ, আস্তে আস্তে শিখে যাবে অবশ্য। তো
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Say, I do.
I do.
Thank you. So, please sit down.
Madam, I'd like you to ask a straightforward question. Why didn't you come to Canada as an immigrant?
I came as a refugee because I didn't receive visa as immigrant. We have no embassy in our country of Canada. And for that moment, when I wanted to go as fast as I could, I received visa to United States very fast. That's why.
Because what struck me is that you did a lot of entrepreneurial work, it seems. You started a lot of companies, schools, and you were very active economically. So what I'd like to ask you is, did you make money?
Yes, I live very nice. Economically, I was independent, absolutely independent. I live very nice because I have a travel agency. I went without money anywhere because it was my company. And of course, we live good for our country, economically safe.
You borrow money
from a bank, private bank, I understand, to start one of your businesses. And do you know why they ask you to give back the money a month before you were supposed to?
We had a contract, and in rule, we should give back money at the end of December without any problems. I explained everything. First, when he gave me money, he agreed to this. When suddenly, without explanation, he asked me to give money in November.
Why did they do that?
Because they told me to take one lady of Kazakh nationality who worked before with me as my assistant in my firm, and she wanted to become the head of my firm. And we couldn't give this lady to become a head, despite the fact that she was Kazakh.
And he kidnapped your son?
Yeah. Because when they threatened me, I said to them, I am not afraid of you, because I live enough, I said to them. And they say, but you have child. Don't forget that you have child. I never imagined that my child could be kidnapped.
And do you see a link between that, between the kidnapping and your problem with the bank?
Yeah, because after that the problem stopped.
If I understand you correctly, that happened to you because you are Russian.
Yeah, I think so.
I want to talk to you about the documentation we have on Kazakhstan. It is written on page 25 that any sense of vulnerability is essentially due to fear of discrimination rather than actual experience of it.
According to Handbook on Procedures and Criteria for Determining Refugee Status, we can read here that you should also hear what we say. What, for example, we?
Of course.
Because we suffer from fear. I myself was suffer.
I'm not saying that you're lying and that what's written there is true. I'm just saying that to me it seems different. But don't see nowhere Russian complaining about violence or threats of violence.
I think it's enough the complaint of our people who come here, because we all suffered the beatings on the street all the time, the humiliation on our children all the time at schools and the environment.
Okay. Artem, if you were to go back to Kazakhstan, who would you fear?
Before it was the Soviet army. Now it's the Kazakh army. And they will send me to the hot points of the country where there is active fighting. For the Russians especially, life in the army is unbearable.
As far as I know, you did not write anything in your question 37 on the army?
I didn't think it would be important to mention it.
Look at him, he's an intelligent guy, and when he come to army, he will be all the time beaten. All the time he will be persecuted there, because they don't like intelligent persons in the army.
Mrs. Linko, if you go back to Kazakhstan now, what are you afraid of?
I will be imprisoned immediately because I'm a well-known person.
Yes, but what makes you think that they will put you in jail?
Why? Because it is very easily for them. Maybe they can take me and beat. I don't want to be beaten in my age.
Why would they do that?
You can't understand this because you don't live in fear. When we live in our country, we are always in fear. First, 70 years we were in fear because of KGB and Stalin. Then nowadays we are afraid of Kazakh authorities. Maybe they can take me and beat.
Why? But why would they do that to you? There's many millions Russian living there.
Okay, but not everybody is known as me. My name is everywhere known. These books is you can buy everywhere.
What's written in that? What
it is the guidebook for Russians teach Kazakh language. Do you speak Kazakh language? This is written.
Yeah.
This is. And I am the author. I was the first author in TV. Everybody knows Linko because my name is in the Encyclopedia of Kazakhstan. The only Russian name.
And why would they put you in jail for that?
Not for that. They're glad.
That was my question. I'm asking you,
but
why would they
I
put
am
you in
known
jail?
that I came to Canada, I claimed here, now then I returned.
Okay, no.
Only this, because I was betrayal. If somebody who is not known return, nobody maybe pay attention to this. But if I return, they should know.
Со мной и был так ласков мир, в котором тихо мы кружились с тобой.
Almost 2 years have passed since Tatiana's arrival in Canada. The Refugee Board has promised her a decision within 60 days.
Но до сих пор от теплых ласковых губ так кружится голова, и замирает сердце лишь едва на грудь. Положишь руку мне, в котором тихо мы кружились.
Today the lawyer called us and told that he received our refuse with such explanation, no credible basis. It means that they don't believe us. And of course we astonished, we puzzled because I don't know.
It's interesting. It's like Canada showed us like that. Okay, now you can relax. Nobody will touch you here, and people relax, and then goodbye. Like find a new way. Like maybe somebody else will help you like this.
Yeah, it is a special kind of persecution. It is a special kind of humiliation, mostly not persecution, but humiliation, because they open doors, they invite people, they give them money, they give them the possibility to study, the possibility to find out the better life than we had before. I don't know. We thought that if the God sent us here, He will help, but you see, it's not like this. But tomorrow we should find out all the possibilities for us, because we don't want to leave Canada. Maybe, of course, we can find another place, or maybe we can do legal immigration, job offer, or something like this, maybe to marry even. But because we have friends and anything else like this.
Christian Vitescu, voulez-vous prendre Gina Grigorescu pour épouse? Oui. Gina Grigorescu. Voulez-vous prendre Christian Vitescu pour époux?
Oui.
En vertu des pouvoirs qui me sont conférés par la loi, je vous déclare maintenant unis par les liens du mariage. Vous pouvez embrasser la mariée.
Christian believes that his marriage to Gina will allow him to remain in Canada as a landed immigrant. While they celebrate their honeymoon, Christian and Gina are unaware that awaiting them on their return is an expulsion order for Christian.
Si le 14 septembre 97 à minuit tu n'as pas quitté le Canada.
His new lawyer explains that immigration officials need to study Gina's request to sponsor Christian as an immigrant.
d'expulsion. Ce qui veut dire que
They could allow him to stay while they examine his case,
non à ton parrainage.
but if they suspect that this is a marriage of convenience, they will deport him before they make their decision.
D'un de nos consulats, de nos ambassades.
Having exhausted all avenues to avoid deportation, Tatiana and Artem prepare to leave Canada. They have chosen not to return to Kazakhstan. Their passports have expired, and only a few countries will accept them. Tatiana and Artem are on their way to Colombia. They hope to return as immigrants.
No hablo español, pero hablo inglés y francés.
Shortly after arriving in Colombia, Quebec immigration officials approved Tatiana and Artem's immigration request. But the wait for Immigration Canada to process their application can be from a few months to a couple of years. Christian's marriage to Gina is not contested. He is allowed to remain in Canada as a landed immigrant. And 18 months after being granted asylum, Marnouche is still waiting for Canada to allow him to bring his wife over to join him.